A room without books is like a body without a soul. 6 mistakes mankind keeps making century after century. Believing that personal gain is made by crushing others, worrying about things that cannot be changed or corrected, insisting that a thing is impossible because we cannot accomplish it, refusing to set aside trivial preferences, neglecting development and refinement of the mind, attempting to compel others to believe and live as we do. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. For what is the worth of human life unless it is woven into the life of our ancestors by the records of history? In times of war, the law falls silent. If we are not ashamed to think it, we should not be ashamed to say it. Non nobis solemnati sumus. Not for ourselves alone are we born. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Friendship improves happiness and abates misery by doubling our joys and dividing our grief. For there is but one essential justice which cements society, and one law which establishes this justice. This law is right reason, which is the true rule of all commandments and prohibitions. Whoever neglects this law, whether written or unwritten, is necessarily unjust and wicked. Not to know what has been transacted in former times is to be always a child. If no use is made of the labors of past ages, the world must remain always in the infancy of knowledge. The authority of those who teach is often an obstacle to those who want to learn. Dum spiro spero. For books are more than books. They are the life, the very heart and core of ages past, the reason why men worked and died, the essence and quintessence of their lives. The life given us by nature is short, but the memory of a well-spent life is eternal. While there's life, there's hope. The life of the dead is set in the memory of the living. Politicians are not born, they are excreted. The face is a picture of the mind with the eyes as its interpreter. The shifts of fortune test the reliability of friends. To study philosophy is nothing but to prepare oneself to die. The life of the dead is placed on the memories of the living. The love you gave in life keeps people alive beyond their time. Anyone who is given love will always live on in another's heart. I criticize by creation, not by finding fault. It is not by muscle, speed, or physical dexterity that great things are achieved, but by reflection, force of character, and judgment. What is morally wrong can never be advantageous, even when it enables you to make some gain that you believe to be to your advantage. The mere act of believing that some wrongful course of action constitutes an advantage is pernicious. We must not say every mistake is a foolish one. Life is nothing without friendship. It is foolish to tear one's hair in grief, as though sorrow would be made less by baldness. It is a great thing to know your vices. I am not ashamed to confess I am ignorant of what I do not know. A happy life consists in tranquility of mind. Your enemies can kill you, but only your friends can hurt you. When you wish to instruct, be brief. that men's children's minds take in quickly what you say, learn its lesson, and retain it faithfully. Every word that is unnecessary only pours over the side of a brimming mind. The enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. Our span of life is brief, but is long enough for us to live well and honestly. Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. Freedom is participation in power. Law applied to its extreme is the greatest injustice. The function of wisdom is to discriminate between good and evil. Knowledge which is divorced from justice may be called cunning rather than wisdom. The man who backbites an absent friend, nay, who does not stand up for him when another blames him, the man who angles for bursts of laughter and for the repute of a wit, who can invent what he never saw, who cannot keep a secret, that man is black at heart. Mark and avoid him. Where is there dignity unless there is honesty? Nemo enim est tam senex se anum non putet posse vivere. Though silence is not necessarily an admission, it is not a denial either. Never injure a friend even in jest. Nemo est qui tibi sapientia suader possit te ipso, numquam labere si te odius. Nobody can give you wiser advice than yourself. If you heed yourself, you'll never go wrong. To be content with what we possess is the greatest and most secure of riches. God's law is right reason. When perfectly understood, it is called wisdom. When applied by government in regulating human relations, it is called justice. It is the peculiar quality of a fool to perceive the faults of others and to forget his own. A friend is a second self. Ability without honor is useless. What one has, one ought to use, and whatever he does, he should do with all his might. Time obliterates the fictions of opinion and confirms the decisions of nature. What an ugly beast is the ape, and how like us. A mind without instruction can no more bear fruit than can a field, however fertile, without cultivation. We are bound by the law, so that we may be free. Marcus Tullius Cicero. Diseases of the soul are more dangerous and more numerous than those of the body. We must not only obtain wisdom, we must enjoy her. Freedom is a possession of inestimable value. Few are those who wish to be endowed with virtue rather than to seem so. It is our own evil thoughts which madden us. Nothing stands out so conspicuously or remains so firmly fixed in the memory as something which you have blundered. Hours and